Hi, 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 hi. Okay, apparently I shouldn't say hi, hi. Hey, 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 hey. What's up? What's happening? Let us check. Let us quickly do a thingy check. Mic check. I'm kidding. Well, yeah, technically it is a mic check. Yeah, that's me. There is a light. There's a light. Hi, good evening. Good evening. Can you hear me? Bonjour, ça va? Ça va bien? Can we hear me? Sorry, I was just gonna. Yeah, it's clear. Okay, perfect. Perfect, 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 perfect. How is everybody doing? Ça va bien, ça va très bien, merci. Très bien, oui. How do you say amazing? Magnifique. 0.1 sec, mi click cardia. Jeez, that's dedication, huh? Dedication. Love to see it. How's everybody? Je suis très bien aussi. J'ai excité pour être. I think yeah. I was gonna say my broken English, but I think my broken French. It's okay. I'm being pushed, and I like it. I'm learning French, and I don't even have to go to France. Love that. I wanted to talk about the subject that we spoke about on live, amour. Je parle about, how do you say about? I want to speak about. Let's get this up. Okay. कहाँ है? Is this new chat? No, it's not. Is this new chat? No, it's not. I don't know. I don't know. Oh, there it is. Okay. How do I say? I want to speak about love. Love in French. Translate. Okay, boom. Je veux parler de l'amour today. Okay, does it clap? I mean, it claps people. No, I'm kidding. Ah, no dedication, just to love hear someone's voice. Oh, that's sweet. Ah, I love it. Yeah, but you know, such an Indian, right? You know, the thing is, money is an exchange of value, okay? I used to be someone who would probably do the same as you, okay? I'd be like, oh, you know, I'd rather not spend that money. Why am I going to spend that money? I can use that for something else, or I'd rather get it for free or whatever. But that you only, I believe, think that way until you have your own business, until you do your own thing. And then you realize the value of having a business, you know, and how it feels when you add value to people's lives and they appreciate that and they support you and they create there's an energetic exchange for that. And then you want to support other people too, you know? So yeah, it's something that you get eventually, I think. But yeah, I mean, I wanted to talk about the topic that we discussed in the satsang, which was really fun, really insightful, to hear different perspectives and just talk about something really interesting and relevant, you know. So the theme of today, well, the topic of today is love, and I have my notes that I had for the actual satsang itself. Okay, I was drawing yesterday. अरे पैसे ही नहीं है अभी स्कूल में. अच्छा, अब अभी स्कूल में है. क्या बात है. मैं आपकी उम्र बुला दी मैंने. Okay, this is cultivating safety. Where is it? Where's the love one? Okay, is this it? I mean, sorry, I just make notes in so many different places. I Good morning. I watched many videos on your channel. They're very interesting. C'est très bien. Did you understand them all? Let me see. I guess they were translated in French, right? It's great with the translator. I can listen to all your videos. Yay! Je suis très jolie pour vous, pour elle. Okay. Today's topic is love, and that's gonna be an amazing experience. Yes, exactly. So let me get my notes up, okay? Because so much came out. So, okay, like when I was planning for this, I was just writing everything to do with love, and I remember ideas just coming up to me. So one of the things, très jolie means very happy, right? Oui, très jolie, very happy. So let's get it started, okay? You're 9th grade. Wow, क्या बात है. क्या बात है. Okay. So, love. One of the things that I heard about love, and this applies to everybody, okay? It is the fact that every decision that you make is rooted in love or it's rooted in fear. Every single one. So, my decision to come on live is rooted in love. It could be rooted in fear, right? It could be, oh my God, Priya, you have to go on live because you want to do this. And if you don't go live, then you're not going to get subscribers. You're not going to get people watching you. And then you're going to fail in life. You know, it could be something like that. Or it could be, I really love going live. I love connecting with people. I love sharing. And then it gets to be that. And you see the difference between the two? Like, the kind of you can't talk about love unless you experience breakup. See, the thing is, it's funny, Sneak, because when we talk about love, I'm not just going to be talking about relationships. Relationships will be an aspect, but we're going to explore the concept of love. Unfortunately, I don't want to label things, but I guess I am. Okay, we'll go with it. People only think about love when it comes to romantic relationships, but love is far more expansive than that. In fact, love is awareness. Think about it. You know those kids who get neglected by their parents, but their parents buy them all the nice things, but they don't pay them attention, right? They're not giving them their actual attention. All they're doing is making up for the lack of attention by buying them material things, thinking that this will suffice, but it never does, right? Because the child would rather have your company and have your attention than have material objects, because these material objects, they're just objects, right? You are a whole being, a human being from which they can get comfort and support and love from. So when you really think about it, attention equals love. The thing you pay a lot of attention to, you love. If you really love a family member, you'll pay them more attention than someone you probably don't, feel for so much. Does that make sense? So love is consciousness. God is consciousness. God is love. Because I mentioned, right? I said that there are 3 different levels of bhakti, 3 different levels of devotion, 3 different levels of your spiritual practice. So the first level is, just reading the Bible, reading the Guru Granth Sahib, doing part, singing, whatever, Then there's the second one, which is Nam Japna, which is repeating mantras, okay? The third one is love. You have to have love. You have to feel love to connect to God. If you're just like repeating things about God, but you're not feeling anything in your heart, then there's not really a connection. Like in Sikhism, they always say that you have to fall in love with God. And they talk about God being the beloved and everybody's soul being the soul bride. And it's about coming going towards the beloved, becoming one with the beloved until there is no difference between you and the beloved, because you are the beloved. It's just that the ego stands in the way. So it's a way of kind of not bypassing, becoming aware of the ego and not identifying with it anymore. Okay? Love thy brother sis as you love yourself. Exactly. You know why they say that? It's because they say love thy neighbor as you love yourself, because you are thy neighbor. You are everybody. Everybody is just you pushed out, because we're all one, right? There's a oneness that permeates everything. So if we are all one, if I sit here and I say, okay, everybody on this live right now is you, Priya, how will I treat you all? I think I'd respect you, right? It sounds selfish, but it's true. The moment I started thinking, whoa, that person is me. This person is just me. I look at them differently. I don't see separation anymore. And this is what mystics, enlightened beings, this is what they did. They see everybody as themselves. So they're incredibly passionate. They're incredibly loving and kind. If you're a lover, you gotta be a fighter, because if you don't fight for your love, what kind of love do you have? Yeah, you know what the thing is, love, things are expressed through love, right? Like, for example, yeah, like if you love someone, and I mean, the fighting thing, what do you mean? Fight for someone, let's say that you've been neglecting them for a while and now they want to break up with you, so you're gonna fight for your love, so you're gonna be like, yeah, I can do this, please, 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 let me try it. Like that? Is that what we're talking about? All kids really want is attention, aka love, comfort, period. Ashe. What is love? Okay, love that. Okay, so the thing is, we can only try to describe love, but love is a feeling. It's a state of being, right? And how can we really encapsulate a state of being in language? But we'll try. So these are the things that I associated with love. I said it's patience, right? When you love someone, you're patient with them. That is true love. I'm not just talking about worldly love that you may have heard. This is a completely different level of love, okay, that exists. I'm gonna open the window. Give me a second. Okay. So I said it's patience, it's faith. And this isn't just within the contains of a romantic relationship. It is in life. Not only do we want to find someone who we can love and who loves us, but it's about living with love and doing everything with love and always coming from love, you know? So having faith in life is about love. It's about trust. All these qualities, these wonderful qualities, they are sourced in love. अच्छा है कि आप इंग्लिश में बोल रहे हैं, घर वालों को लग रहा है मैं पढ़ रहा हूँ. I love that. Okay, love is wholeness. Love is acceptance of who you are, no matter what you're like. You know, one of the things that I really like to say to my self is, you could do no wrong. You could do no wrong. Nothing you could ever do will make me love you any less. Because I am love. You know, on one of my lives, someone said, oh, you know, I love people really deeply, but I don't love myself. The ego is saying that. It's not the soul that is saying that, because the soul is full of love. There is only God, so there is only love. And everything else, so that person, they have love within them, right? But it's veiled by fear of some sort, by some limiting weird thought that I'm not lovable. Of course you are love. So this whole like, am I lovable, you know, question is the ego, because the ego feels separate. The ego likes this because it wants to perform. It wants to go out and try to get love. You know, in fact, let me get some of the qualities of the ego up, because then I can, because Here, ego versus soul. Okay. Yeah, look, the ego, like, so there are differences. You know, when you're in your ego, it seeks to serve itself, whereas soul seeks to serve others because the soul is rooted in love. So the soul understands that you are the other, that there is no separation, there's no distinction between you and the other. The soul seeks inner authenticity. Well, you can only seek inner authenticity if you can accept yourself, right? And love is acceptance. My cat doesn't love me when I tickle his feet. You know, my cat doesn't either. I don't think it's that they don't love you. Of course they love you, right? My cat is obsessed with me. She loves me. She just sits outside. Like, they're always meowing to come in. Hey, good to see you. Hey, Vinay, what's up? How are you? The only thing I remember now is, Vinay, you say, yeah, people, like, if I want revenge on people, I'll just go to bed. My soul will take the revenge. So, low key, just not gonna say anything to you, okay? And hi, Jess, how are we? How are we? We are talking about love today and the difference between love and fear. So you could say that the ego is consumed by love, right? It's characterized by fear, and the soul is rooted in love. Artwork by Just. Do I know you? Today was voting day in India, but I was sleeping. That's okay. I've never voted in my entire life. I don't rely on the government for anything, so I just don't participate. I just don't. I know people get really passionate about it, but I'm not really into politics. I understand reality, you know? So, yeah, okay, let's talk about fear. So, when someone is in a fearful state, which most of us are, right? They are rushing, right? They're panicking. They're fragmented. They're in their ego. There's a lack energy. There's a taking energy. For example, okay, let's look at it this way. Let's think about money. I've seen some homeless people who are very, very giving. I was working in a shop when I was at university, and there was this homeless lady, right? And she came, and there was a like a charity box, right? And then she put change in the charity box. And I remember looking at her and thinking, you're literally homeless, yet you're giving to charity. You're giving away money when the normal, I guess, assumption would be, oh, you know, you're hogging it. You're trying to just hold on to every last penny because you're homeless. You know, so she had such a big heart. She had a loving energy. She believed in giving. Because look, there's a difference between being spiritually abundant and being materially abundant. There are some really rich people who are very spiritually poor, right? The two, there's no coherence between the two. They could be billionaires, yet be very spiritually poor. You could be homeless and be spiritually abundant. You know, it's about how rooted you are in love. So, for example, someone who's materially rich most likely is spiritually poor because they're fearful. Because they believe that, oh, if I give some money away, I'll lose it all. And it means so much to me. Whereas someone who is spiritually abundant sees that something material isn't worth more than them. That they'll be resourced, I guess, you know, that you're surrendered to life, to God when you're homeless. Every day you wake up and you're like, oh, okay, will I get some food today? Okay, cool, got some food. Okay, next day, you know? Why do you think you know more than us? So interesting, Millard. It's so interesting that you're very triggered. I didn't say I think I know more than you. I probably don't. Do you think I know more than you? Give me your answer, and then afterwards I'll just put you on timeout. We'll see. Actually, you don't. Okay, so why are you so triggered? Why are you so triggered? How is what you're saying contributing to the space? Are you coming from fear? Or are you coming from love? Tell me. You watch Narashima movie. In that movie, God came to save his little devotee. God comes in the avatar line. I have not seen that movie. That sounds like a really cute movie. Is it a Tamil movie? Should I write? Okay, Narashima. Okay. Narashima. How did I start glowing so much? I don't know. I don't know. It's when you're connected to a god, you just do, you know? No, I don't like Hinduism. Okay, Millard Watkins. What makes you think I'm talking about Hinduism? Stop replying to naysayers, keep telling your thing. Yeah, you know, I think sometimes I like it because that person is here for a reason, you know, and sometimes it's the ego. Like, it's his ego is like, oh, wow, she thinks she knows more than me. What is she talking about? I don't fully understand what she's saying, but this is annoying me. You know, it's the ego. It's getting agitated. And then it's, oh, let me make assumptions. She looks brown. She looks Indian, you know. She must be talking about Hinduism. You talk about reincarnation, okay. So reincarnation is not limited to Hinduism. And this is why has YouTube gone so religious all of a sudden today? It's annoying. Interesting. This isn't religious. Okay, if you think that talking about God can only be done through religious kind of things, or I mean, you know, lest we kind of label things. Love has no religion. Love is who we are. Love is all there is. I know it sounds like a really cliche saying, but it's true. Can you imagine a world where there was no love? I mean, okay, let me give you an example that I gave in my satsang, okay? Love can be seen in all of nature. For example, bacteria sacrifice themselves to save other bacteria. At that level, love exists. Trees will give nutrients to other trees that need it. There's a mycelium layer underneath the ground, so it connects all of the trees. So it's through, you know, like the roots are connected, I guess. Are the roots connected? Maybe they are, I don't know, but the mycelium layer is through which they pass nutrients and information, right? It's a whole network. So whenever there's a tree that isn't doing so well, they'll pass it nutrients. They take care of each other. They love each other. They don't actually you know, like being alone. So Hinduism is the oldest religion to come exist and accept your. Oh, every time I see new faces. Yeah, I mean, that's the beauty of YouTube Live, right? Anybody can be here. Guys, I've decided, by the way, I'm going to be going live on Twitch as well. So if I'm not here, then I'll be live on Twitch. Is anybody on Twitch? I need advice. Okay, Zelensky. What would you like advice with? You let me know. Millar doesn't have a cat, lol. Cats are very loving, yeah. I think it's never too late to be a cat herder. Priya, do you remember me, by the way? Yeah, I do. Of course I do. Welcome. I think it's been a while since you've been on one of my lives, right? But yeah, trees. They show immense love to each other. You know? How cold is the weather there? It is... You want me to check the temperature? I'll check the temperature for you. Okay, sure. It's 7 degrees. Actually, I'm not gonna... Oh, okay, well, show me. 7 degrees. Yeah, I was going through something bad, so I was a bit absent. Oh, well, congratulations, because something bad is always the first step to change, right? We wouldn't get out of our comfort zone if something extreme didn't happen, something bad didn't happen, right? So I think it's a wonderful thing, even though you may not believe it to be so. But like I said, lest we label... My wife wants to be in an open relationship. What in the world do I do? Interesting. I would say discuss it. You know, what about an open relationship? Is it that she wants to explore? What would it look like? Because there are many things that you develop in a open relationship. Maybe you could do some research on open relationships. What do they entail? You know, being open and honest about you're just disgusted. Okay, you're disgusted. I mean, it was brave of her to express that to you. You know? Okay, let's chill out. Let's not judge. That's someone else's choice, you know? And that's his whole relationship. Not everybody is a like believes in sin like that. Do looks matter in love? No, I don't think so. Look, but it depends. Are you loving from the ego or are you loving from your soul? But that's not to say that, of course, everybody wants someone beautiful. But let me put it this way, okay? Looks are not the only thing that should be drawing you to someone. And I get that because I have been there, okay? I've been like very shallow. Because when you are shallow and you prioritize looks in your own life and your physical beauty, then you want that in someone else too. Because I used to do that. Like I said, I would really put my looks up high and be like, oh my god, everything's about looks. Because as a woman especially, you know, your physical beauty is everything. That's what you're told, you know, it's everything. You have to look good, you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to be skinny, you have to have this, you know. There's a lot of pressure, and I know there is for men also. So I would objectify myself, and then I would objectify other people. I would look at other women and be like, oh, okay, she's attractive, she's not. So therefore what I was doing is saying she has value, she doesn't, so I don't need to respect her. Or when I would see someone, for example, who you know, wasn't like, let's say, like I associated beauty with being thin. So when I would see someone who's a bit bigger with a partner, I'd be like, oh my god, how did she get a partner? How is this happening? What? I thought big people didn't get one because I would judge myself. Because everything that we see outside of us is a reflection of how we feel within us. So you care about looks, loads. I know that just sounds like an awful sentence. If you really value looks in other people, it's because that's something that you place highly within yourself. That's something that you make a priority within yourself. But it's not the only thing that matters. What I learned is the affairs of the heart that really matter, especially as a woman. I need, you know, I understand that I want someone who can take care emotionally, someone who's emotionally intelligent. Does that make sense? She wants me to be bi. I'm not like that. Okay, Zelensky, then what I would say is be honest with her. She is allowed to want whatever she wants. We shouldn't judge her. We shouldn't shame her for it. You know, tell her, look, I don't want that. So what can we do here? Are you willing to compromise this? Or what are the options that we can explore here? Circle shape came from planet shape, triangle shape came from mountain, square shape came, then where square, rectangle shape came. Maybe it was I mean, it's a very unnatural shape. I think it was created by humans. Isn't it funny that all homes, pretty much everything in a city is square or rectangle shaped? It has a certain vibration. Every shape has a certain vibration, right? So yeah, I think I saw this video about it being a low one. I don't know. You'll have to research into it. Now, marriage is commitment. If she can't stay committed, you deserve better. You know, okay, what would you define as commitment? What would you define as commitment? Because, I mean, it's very relevant that we're discussing love here because love is not control. Commitment is not control. She is her own being. She is allowed to want whatever she wants under God's son, okay? She wants to have an open relationship. She's welcome to do that. But that doesn't mean you have to agree. It's about accepting other people for how they are unconditionally. That's unconditional love. I mean, love is only unconditional. There is no such thing as conditional love. How can you place conditions on love? Love is a matter of the heart. There is no logic there. The moment it's like, oh, I can only love her if she's committed to me, only if she listens to me, only if she only wants me, only if she blah, 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 you know? That's not love. That's control. Do I like Sanskrit? I guess so. I have to leave live stream. I have to have a good day, everyone. Au revoir. Hi Priya, how are you doing? Hey Greg, what's up? I decided to talk more about the subject that we discussed in the satsang because I wanted to kind of open up the space for everybody else to, you know, understand and maybe discuss some of the things that we were discussing. So if you want to like chime in at any point and you know, discuss, like add or like remind us of what we spoke about, you're more than welcome to. À bientôt, merci. Au revoir. Priya, by the way, please don't leave Y2 Lives because I don't use Twitch, please. Okay. You don't, neither do I. You can't rationalize everything. I think she's being toxic and selfish. Wow. Zelensky, interesting. That's one way of looking at it. That's your way of looking at it. Is she though? Is this 100% fact? Is she being toxic and selfish? Is wanting what you want, is that a bad thing? I think the fact that she came to you and she was honest about what she wants shows courageousness. You know? You can't act like you don't fulfill me. I need to seek fulfillment elsewhere, then call it love. This is why I said, you know, there are nuances to everything, okay? It's about sitting down and talking about why she wants this. Is this because she believes in open love, as in, you know, love is infinite and you can love many people and it's about forming deep relationships with people and not stopping yourself from doing that? Or is it more about, okay, I want to, well, it kind of, by the sounds of it, it sounds, I want to explore my sexuality beyond the confines of a monogamous relationship, is what it sounds like. And that's also okay. Who are we to judge anybody? Who are we to judge? We're not perfect. I'm not perfect. You know? So if someone wants something, it's valid, because, you know, the thing is, the more we judge people, like Zelensky's wife, right, about wanting an open relationship, the more you build a prison for yourself, because your judgments are saying more about you than they say about the other person. Hey Priya, did you see Andrew Tate got defeated by a low-class reality star dude? Wow, what a way to label someone. Charming. I did not see that, no. Waheguru Millard. Every relationship has rules. Idiot. Interesting. Interesting. Who's the idiot here? Why? So if you're here listening to me and you think I'm an idiot, what does that make you? I think it makes you a bigger idiot, right? Love is brain chemistry. Okay, thank you. Chemistry spelled with a C. No, never mind. That's just my ego coming in, you know? No, I found that out. She then explained it to me. Okay, absolutely. I've been thinking about when we spoke about looking within and how our own perception of the world dictates our relationships. Beautiful. I am a neurobiologist. I know better than you. Wow. Okay, cool. So why are you here listening to an idiot? I don't get it. Please make it. I am a brilliant man. Wonderful. Okay. A brilliant man who goes on YouTube live and curses out women. Right? Okay, cool. Yeah, brilliant. You know, I always thought like my perception of a man or a brilliant man is reflected by how he treats the women in his life. Like that to me makes you a man, and then you know, a brilliant man. Because how you treat the feminine says a lot about you. Because you have feminine energy within you too. So yeah. Yeah, she's right. You can't judge people. If you kick her out of your house and divorce, we won't judge you. If you're God, wouldn't you be perfect? I also have a problem. Okay, cool. Any career advice from an up and coming femboy? I don't know what a femboy is. Don't know what that is. You know, we can't pick and choose. If you want to love someone and you want them to be exactly how you want them to be, then I would say perhaps get them genetically engineered. You know? You don't know how I treat women or people. People said I am kind, too kind. Well, I know how you're treating me right now. So that's the only vantage point that I have. That's the only place from which I can, you know, discern what kind of a person you are. How to make money from paper? I don't know. Well, I don't get the question. Priya, you Punjabi though? Yes, I am Punjabi. Gee, what's up, AJ? Elaborate on what? Well, according to that, loyalty doesn't mean anything. People are allowed to do what. Yeah, but loyalty. What is loyalty? What's like what's loyalty? How do people define loyalty? Of course, people are allowed to do whatever they want to do. The thing is, you know, I think you should let people do whatever they want to do because then they act authentically. They do what they truly want to do. Does that make sense? Because look, if I tell you to do something, if I'm telling you to behave this way or don't go there and don't talk to that girl and don't do this and don't do that and don't look at her, then you're only not doing it because I'm telling you to. You're not using your own judgment, your own discernment, you know? Does that make sense? It's being forced upon you, and I don't want that. I'd rather have someone who makes the decision themselves. Yeah, let's me see how I will treat you. Yeah, Millet, I don't think that's ever going to happen. In all of the infinite realities that exist, I don't think one exists where that happens. So yeah, let's leave it at that. Do you watch Pushback, that creator who makes food videos like for? No, I don't. No, I don't. Wow, people watch that. We have. Okay. Hey. Would you say the same thing if you got married to a man who's sleeping around with other women? I would leave him. I would let him sleep around. Like I said, I don't want to restrict anybody. Do what you want, but don't expect me. Just because I allow you to do what you want, not I allow. Who am I to not allow or allow someone? Okay, people are their own beings. I believe in freedom. Let people do what they want to do. If I'm not happy with what you're doing, sayonara. That's the way I see it. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, you should sleep around. You should. Why am I gonna? Clearly, that's what you want, and I don't sit here and believe that I can change what you truly want. If you want that, that's cool. You go do that. Go do that somewhere else, though. Does that make sense? Is being self-obsessed good? I think, you know what it is? Simi, thank you so much for the question. So being self-obsessed good? I think it depends. There are nuances to everything, right? So does self-obsessed being mean to you? It can mean different things to different people, right? It's very subjective. So does it mean you value yourself, you love yourself, so you put yourself before everybody else? You understand that you are the operant power in your life, that you're the captain of your own ship. You believe in yourself, you trust yourself, you respect yourself, you value yourself. Because some people may say that that's being self-obsessed. Or is it that you're self-obsessed where you're like, oh my god, there's this like piece of hair that's like sticking out. Oh my god, why? Oh my god, I'm gonna have to like cry all day because I'm just like, I can't deal with it. You know? Oh my god, my outfit has to look like this. Oh my god, I have to do this. Oh my god. Like, is it holding yourself to different standards? Is it coming from love or is it coming from fear? Is it, I have to be a certain way, so I have to have my nails done, I have to wear the best outfits, I have to smell the best, my hair has to be done, I have to talk in a certain way? Is that the way that the self-obsession is characterized? Or is it, I value myself, I have boundaries, I'm assertive, I can tell people no when I feel like it's a no, I can listen to my inner voice, I can express my authenticity, I accept myself, I can do no wrong? Like, what does it look like? Is it coming from wholeness? Is it coming from love? Or is it coming from fear? Do I think I am beautiful? Yes. Love from Australia. Thank you. Love is when you find your happiness in one person. If you're looking elsewhere, that's not love. That's not true, Yash. I don't believe that. That's exactly... No. Finding... See, the thing is, okay, look, I'm really happy that, you know, this conversation is happening because what did I say? Love is who you are. You can't... Let's say you're in a loving relationship, okay? You feel amazing, you feel full of love, you feel like skipping and just like being happy and like playing around all the time because you're so in love. What you don't understand is that love is coming from within you. The person outside of you just activated it, but it's from you. You are the source of the love. So when we place our happiness outside to someone else, then they have power over us. Then it becomes codependency. I love you, you can't go out, you can't do this, you can't have your own opinions. It turns into controllingness. You can't leave me, you need to stay right next to me, you can't go see your family, you can't see your friends. I know it may not be exactly like, this may not show up exactly in the way that you're expressing it, but this is usually what follows. It's controllingness. No one is the source of your happiness. Happiness cannot be found outside of you. Happiness, by the way, is a very temporary emotion, okay? You want fulfillment, you want peace. That's what everybody wants. And that can only be found within you, when you are connected to God, when you are connected to the love within you. My family think people choose spirituality in their budappa. Hey, I mean, I get that, you know, a lot of people think, oh, let us not go towards God when we're young and we can just do that when we're older. But what happens is that being connected to God is not about doing God a favor. Being connected to God is doing you a favor. It means you're living in the truth. Why is it that you're going to live a life for the whole of your life? You're going to be stressed. You're not going to have anyone that you can trust. You're not going to have faith. You're not going to be surrendered to life. You're going to make your own decisions and think that you've got it all figured out. To then realize, oh, eventually when you're like 70, oh, you know what? God could have actually helped me my whole entire life. I could have had a very easy, fun, peaceful, joyful existence, but I chose to withhold this. So, like I said, spirituality, being connected to God, is not doing God a favor. but cheating isn't right. The thing is, she's not cheating. She came to him and she said, I want an open relationship. She could have cheated, but she didn't. She was open, she was honest, and she was forthcoming. Yet we judge her. Have you thought about subjects for the upcoming satsang? I have not. It seems that the subject usually comes to me on the Friday or the Saturday. Yeah, so, you know, I am better than you in anything. I am watching you because it feels good to see people stupid. That's hilarious. Oh my god. That's hilarious. Oh my god. Millard. I don't even know what to say. You're very amusing. We also spoke about this romantic idea of love that we sold in the media, falling in love, for example. Yeah, thank you for sharing that, Greg. See, this is what I mean. Everybody writes a list. I want this. I want this. I want her to be this tall. I want her to look like that. I want him to look like this. He has to have like 50 million abs. I'm kidding. Okay, like 6 is fine. You know, he has to earn like 50 million pounds a year. He has to have. Okay, I'm exaggerating, obviously. You know, but like we have this list, this rigid list. Only then can I fall in love. Yet, what most people find is that okay, first of all, falling in love, like like Greg, we spoke about, it's very accidental. It's like, oh, I'm in love now. I'm on the floor. I'm just lying here. Oh my god, I'm like this hopeless person. I think it's growing in love. It's growing with someone, understanding them, having a soul-to-soul connection is what makes a deep, lasting relationship. And Greg and I discussed how, you know, it depends on where you're at. Like how much you've met yourself is reflected in your partner. So if you haven't met yourself that deeply, if you're still insecure and you're still worried about these, like these surface level things, then you'll find a partner who reflects that. Hair looks different today. Yeah, I haven't done anything to it. I've just showered and like this is my natural hair. Kind of very curly at the top, and then I don't know, it's yeah. Okay. Now it's about loving myself and just motivating myself. Like if there was no one just being my oh wow, Simi. That's beautiful. That's absolutely beautiful. And who like that's an amazing thing, okay? And if someone tries to tell you no, it's because they don't win with you being like that. You know? They don't benefit from you being like that, from being sourcing your love from within you, being your own best friend, because no one can come and mess with you because you have your own bag. You don't rely on other people, you know? Satsang or sansad. I don't know what sansad is, but the satsang, but a satsang. See, I always thought a satsang was where you come and you discuss God with a group of people. But I had a lot of people asking me, who's the guru at this satsang? And I was thinking, well, the guru within us, you know? We all have a guru within us. There's no like other guru, like a physical guru, I guess. Thanks for your motivation. You're welcome. That's kind of hypocritical. You said you'd leave your husband for sleeping around, but you told Zelensky not to do that to his wife. I didn't say that. All I said to Zelensky was sit and discuss it with her. And be honest about what you want. And if you don't want that, then figure something out. That's it. You know? Hi, Rohit. I'm well, thank you. How are you? Okay. My mother, her watch, you're like, oh, so sweet. Hey, Rohit's mom. You're pretty. Thank you, Bri. I have one question though. Do you think a guy's height matters to you in love or relationship to you? Okay. Okay, so you know where this comes from? This comes from evolutionary biology. So the taller a man was, the bigger he was, the stronger he was, the more he could protect you, right? So now there's this standard of a man has to be really tall and he has to have these certain physical characteristics. But to me, it's not a big deal. I think as long as you're a little bit taller than me, and that's not hard to beat, then we're good. Your family paid me to marry you. Okay, you know, Millard, I think. Bye bye. See, I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true. I love an insecure partner. You're only insecure about things you value. That's no, 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 no. No. Because you know what it is? It's because we don't understand love. We think that I was trying to explain this to my sister yesterday. You know, that so she was telling me about something about in our family about what's going on. And she seemed stressed. And I said to her, look, you can love someone because this is what God's love is like, okay? God's love is he loves you, she loves you, right? She loves you. She loves you unconditionally. You could do no wrong. She'll be like, oh, you messed up. Oh, you messed up. It's fine. I still love you. I believe in you. Go again. You messed up. It's fine. I still love you. Go again. I believe in you. You got this, girl. You messed up. I love you. Go again. It's cool. You got this. You messed up. Go again, babe. I love you. It's cool. That's God's love. It's not, oh, you messed up. All right, now I'm going to punish the shit out of you. We're going to take you to hell. We're going to burn you, okay? How you like that? You know, or it's, okay, you know what? You can figure things out by yourself, so I'm going to control you now. We're going to do what I say, okay? You can't go there. You can't do this. No, that's a sin. That's a sin. That's a sin. No. That's not God. So, love is I care, I love you, but I'm not a control freak. I'll let you do whatever you want to do. I let you breathe. Okay? You can love your car and not have to be afraid. And like this whole fear thing, it doesn't have like the thing is I get why you're saying that because that's the way you've been taught to think. But it's not true. Because these material things don't matter anyway. You know? As long as you have God, you don't need anything else. That's my opinion anyway. Did I try the yoga nidra? No, I've been literally every day. I'm like, okay, I need to try, and then I just don't end up. But I will, okay? Is Ray Rani your sister? Yes, she's my twin sister. Okay. You told hi, mother. Oh, she's very happy. Tell her to, like, what, is there anything specific your mom wants to ask me? Or I have to hop off for 30 minutes. You have to if you're still on. See you, Greg. My mom told you please speak Hindi Punjabi. ਚਲੋ ਜੀ ਰੋਹਿਤ ਜੀ ਦੀ ਮੰਮੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਬੋਲਦੇ ਆ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਹਿੰਦੀ ਤਾਂ ਥੋੜਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਹੱਥ ਤੰਗ ਆ ਮੈਂ ਪਿਆਰ ਵਾਲੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰ ਰਹੀ ਸੀ ਮੈਂ ਆਪਣਾ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੀ ਆ ਵੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮੇਰਾ ਮੈਂ ਕਹਿਣ ਲੱਗੀ ਸੀ ਮੇਰਾ ਸ਼ੋਅ ਪਰ ਇਹ ਮੇਰਾ ਸ਼ੋਅ ਨਹੀਂ ਆ ਚਲ ਕਹਿ ਰੋ ਮੇਰਾ ਸ਼ੋਅ ਆ ਠੀਕ ਆ ਮੇਰਾ ਲਾਈਵ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਆ ਉਮੀਦ ਆ ਵੀ ਹਨਾ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਆਈ ਗੈਸ ਸਮਝ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਹੋਵੇ ਜੋ ਮੈਂ ਕਹਿ ਰਹੀ ਹਾਂ ਜੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਮੈਂ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕਰਾਂਗੀ ਆਪਣੀ ਵੀ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਸਮਝਾਉਣ ਦੀ ਕਰਿਆ ਕਰਾਂ ਵੀ ਕੀ ਕਹਿ ਰਹੀ ਹਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਪਿਆਰ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰ ਰਹੀ ਸੀ ਹਨਾ ਵੀ ਪਿਆਰ ਕੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਪਿਆਰ ਉਹ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਆ ਵੀ ਪਿਆਰ ਰੱਬ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਆ ਤੇ ਰੱਬ ਪਿਆਰ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਆ ਤੇ ਪਿਆਰ ਕੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਪਿਆਰ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਵੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਬੰਨ ਕੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਰੱਖਣਾ ਹਨਾ ਆਪਾਂ ਖੁੱਲ੍ਹਦੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਆ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਦੇਖੋ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਲੋਕ ਆਪਣੇ ਹਨਾ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਿਆਰ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਪਿਆਰ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਪਰ ਜੇ ਬੱਚਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਨਾ ਮੰਨੇ ਫਿਰ ਉਹ ਤੇ ਗੁੱਸਾ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਤੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਸਾਡਾ ਬੱਚਾ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਤੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਆ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦਾ ਸਾਡੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਮੰਨਦਾ ਤੂੰ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਤੂੰ ਵਾਪਸ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਬੋਲਿਆ ਪਰ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੁਝ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਆ ਤੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਨੇ ਕੁਝ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਹੀ ਆ ਬੱਚਾ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਗੁਲਾਮ ਤਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਆ ਨਾ ਓਬਵੀਅਸਲੀ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਸਪੈਸੀਫਿਕਲੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਰ ਰਹੀ ਹਨਾ ਪਰ ਇਨ ਜਨਰਲ ਆਪਾਂ ਕੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ, ਸਾਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਵੀ ਸਾਡੇ ਬੱਚੇ, ਸਾਡੇ ਦੋਸਤ, ਸਾਡਾ ਪਤੀ ਵੀ ਉਹ ਸਾਡਾ ਗੁਲਾਮ ਆ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਾਡੀ ਸਾਰੀ ਗੱਲ ਮੰਨਣੀ ਪੈਣੀ ਆ, ਹਨਾ। ਮਾਂ ਬੋਲ ਰਹੀ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਬੋਲ ਲਿਆ ਕਰ, ਬੋਲਦੀ ਸੋਹਣੀ ਲੱਗ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ। शुक्रिया। इज योर मॉम लिसनिंग? मम्मी जी आप सुन रहे हैं? ਪਰ ਹਾਂਜੀ ਬਸ ਪਿਆਰ ਪਿਆਰ ਖੁੱਲ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਆ, ਰੱਬ ਦਾ ਪਿਆਰ ਏਦਾਂ ਦਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ ਨਾ। ਰੱਬ ਦਾ ਪਿਆਰ ਹੁੰਦਾ, ਮੈਂ ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਪਿਆਰ ਕਰਦਾ ਬੱਚੇ, ਕੁਛ ਵੀ ਗੱਲ ਆ। ਪਰ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਇੱਕ ਰੱਬ, ਹੋਰ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦਾ ਰੱਬ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਆ, ਏਦਾਂ ਦਾ ਰੱਬ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਗੁੱਸੇ ਵਾਲਾ ਆ, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਲਾਈਨ 'ਚ ਰਹਿਣਾ, ਏਦਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਨਾ, ਏਦਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਨਾ, ਏਦਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਨਾ, ਹਨਾ। ਪਰ ਇਹ ਰੱਬ ਥੋੜੀ ਆ। Okay. Aapki Punjabi sound like another foreign language. Why does it not sound like Punjabi? I don't care. I don't think God cares if people swear or God say damn. If he exists, he wouldn't be this sensitive and petty. That is so true. God is not. God is very playful, okay? God is like a child, okay? Children are the closest thing to God, right? They are. Because in Punjabi they say that children are God's roop, as in like children are God's roop. I don't know. They're God, okay? They're God incarnate. So they are the closest thing to God. So that means God must be like children. And what are children? Children are playful, they're fun, they're curious, they're adventurous, they're loving, they're forgiving, they don't care. You push one over and then it falls over and then you apologize and it's like, it's fine now, we're friends again. You know what I'm saying? It's not like, I'm gonna wage war against you, I'm gonna write a letter. It's not like that. So yeah, you're very right. So let's say if you were married to a person and you found out they were slept with someone else, would that hurt you? If yes, the other person felt comfortable risking hurting you for merely sex. The thing is, you know, Yash, first of all, it's about like, okay, I think what comes to mind here is about self-control. I think one of the things that I really value in a man is self-control. How much discipline can he, you know, express in his life? What are his values? Because I wouldn't marry a man who thinks that he would get something from just casual sex. Because you can, I was going to say you can tell, but I think, yeah, you can. I think someone who's really rooted in love, in a higher sense of being, they wouldn't do that. It would be a disrespect to them, to their body, to do that. But if my husband did do that, then what I would do, of course, the dishonesty would hurt me, right? I'd discuss it. I'd want to be like, okay, why? And then I would see how I feel. Not everything is so black and white, you know? And people are like, love is compassion, you know? But of course, love is boundaries too. So it's one of those things, okay? बिल्कुल बोल रहे हैं तुसी मैरिड हो या अनमैरिड हो, ये बात हम नहीं बताते. If they actually love you, they wouldn't hurt you. Yeah, you know, okay, you know how we were talking about Zelensky, right? And his wife wanted an open relationship. She came to him and told him that. She was being open and honest, right? And then if he were to heavily judge her for that, then that would make her feel like, I can't express my true feelings to my husband, so now I don't think it's safe, so I have this need, so I'm gonna go fulfill it elsewhere without telling him. Does that make sense? So it's the dishonesty. So it's about being honest, right? And feeling comfortable and safe enough to be honest with your partner. Trusting that your partner will, you know, will handle things in a mature way. ultimately it becomes a disrespect to themselves. Meeting got cancelled. Woo! You're meant to be here, huh? It does become a disrespect to themselves. And like I said, you know, people who would do that, maybe I'm categorizing, I don't know. But I think that people who would even think that casual sex or just like a one-off sexual encounter with someone is like what they want, is like a need of theirs, then they're like functioning from their lower chakras, you know, they haven't really integrated things, because casual sex is not that great. When the heart's not involved, like what's the point? And you'd want to be with someone who values that, who knows what it's like to be in that space, so they would never feel like that. They would never think that casual sex is a reward or something they really want or desire, you know? It would be like off-putting to them, the thought of it. Because you know what it is? It's just immediate gratification. And you feel empty afterwards. Your brother took the... What? ਅੱਖਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਵਿੱਚ ਲਾ ਲਈ ਚਿਹਰੇ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਤੂੰ ਦੱਸ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਕੀ ਕਵਾਂ ਹੀਰ ਜਾਂ ਹੋਰ ਕਿਆ ਬਾਤ there's part of the reasons many relationships fail is people are not comfortable telling their partner something because they're scared of how they will react. It's not real love. Well, there you go, right? That's literally what I've been talking about, you know. Someone's wife admitted that she wants an open relationship, and I think, like I keep saying, it was an honest, open, forthcoming and brave thing to do, and she has to be given credit for that. If she doesn't do it and she goes behind your back, then you know she's an awful person. If she comes and tells you, then she's an awful person. There's no winning, you know. It's like you just can't do anything right. So what's she supposed to do? Sit there and feel like this isn't what she actually wants? Why should she feel guilty for what she wants? She wants that. If that's her karma playing out, you know, it is what it is. We have to be we're so controlling, and that's not love. Yeah, so his wife even considering it means marriage over. That's fine. That's fine, you know. Priya, are my texts coming through to you? Sorry, yeah, they are. What did you, Priya? You keep saying Priya. What's up? What's good? What is the difference between the love you have with your family and your life partner? Okay, I love that question. Love is love. Love is expressed, okay? So it's just expressed in different ways. You may do something like go to afternoon tea with your mom because she loves afternoon tea, and that's how, you know, she would love to spend time with you, through afternoon tea, where she gets to sit and connect with you and talk with you. Your partner, your life partner, it would look different, but it's love. The root of everything is love. It's acceptance, it's wholeness. It's coming from a place of, I already have enough and I have so much. It's overgiving energy, you know, it's feeling so full. It's not taking energy. So it's expressed in different ways. That's it. With your life partner, it's expressed in different ways. Obviously, there's an aspect of sexuality that is added with your life partner, and you know, that's the thing that's missing from your other loving relationships. But that's okay, because like I said, you may do things with your mom, like go to afternoon tea, that you may not do with, I don't know, your friends or your child or whatever, you know. So it's just different ways of expressing the same root thing, which is love, which is attention. Different people want to be paid attention in different ways, you know. Okay, रब करे तू सदा हंसती रहे. That's so sweet. ਹੋਰ ਕੀ ਦੁਆ ਮੰਗਾ ਰੱਬ ਤੋਂ, ਤੈਨੂੰ ਸਾਡੀ ਵੀ ਉਮਰ ਲੱਗ ਜਾਵੇ. क्या रोहित, आप ये ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪ ਹੀ ਲਿਖ ਰਹੇ ਆ? Okay, I want to be a merchant navy officer, but my parents don't agree with me. What should I do next? Do what you want to do. They don't have to agree. They don't have to agree. Who cares? You're not their slave. You're not a servant. You're not their puppet. They're not like, oh, we're going to have a child and we're going to have it on puppets and we're going to dance, lift your leg up, do this, marry this person, have this job. No. Okay, screw all that. You do what you want to do. If that's going to make you really happy and that's your passion, do it. Who cares? Because you know what it is? What usually happens, what I've experienced in my life, they'll tell you to do something, right? They'll be like, do this. You have to do this. And you're like, okay, fine. And then you do it. And then you regret it. And then years after, you speak to them and you say, I did this thing and I didn't like it. And you're the one that told me to do it. Then they'll say, yeah, but you could have used your own brain. You don't have to listen to what we say. They won't take responsibility. You are responsible for yourself. I have Indian parents. Trust me, I get it. Okay? You have to pave the way, okay? You know, one thing I've really started to value? The rebel. The rebel, the rebel, the rebel. And the rebel has been really, what's the opposite of glamorized? What's the opposite of... Yeah. Villainized, yeah. See, I figured that out and I didn't have to... Demonized, villainized, criticized, yeah. The rebel has been demonized, but the rebel, like for example in school, the rebel child is a child that will be very successful in life. You know why? They pave their own path. School is a system that is designed for subservience, for controlling you, to make you into a slave. So when you're the rebel, you're against that, and the rebel is usually judged, right? Oh my God, you got kicked out of school. This happened to you. This happened to you. Yeah, but they didn't fit into a very strict, rigid system. That's a good thing. That means you're a free thinker. Do you live in India in your childhood? No, I was 3 when I left India. So no, I didn't spend it. I don't really remember much. I spent my childhood in Austria and England. I read the poem Rebel. Okay, good. Well, you know, rebels are probably the happiest. I mean, the thing is, look, would you rather risk it all and make the decision yourself? Would you rather risk it all and take someone else's decision? You know what's good for you. You hear the truth within you. And it's about connecting to that, right? It's about, be pesticide. Start connecting to yourself. Start listening to your inner voice. You know, start cultivating a sense of develop your bhakti, okay? Work in your bhakti. I know obviously I shouldn't be giving advice, but if I could, and if that's what you wanted, obviously you have your own choice about you know, whether you want to take that on. But develop your bhakti, connect to yourself, listen to your inner truth, and go with that. God is your parent. A book called Boundaries, I started reading apparently way too late. No, I'm kidding. Everything happens at the right time. But I didn't know what boundaries were. I read a book called Boundaries, and it had a very Christian take on it, but I liked it. It said, when you're an adult, especially, your parents aren't your parents. God is your parent. Because your parents aren't perfect. They're not perfect. They have their own issues. Okay? They have their own egoic needs. They have their own traumas. They have their own experiences and conditioning. So if you sit there and think, oh, my parents, I have to listen to them regardless of whatever, you know, like I said, your parents will tell you to do something or not do something. Don't start your own business, beta. Don't. It's not a good time, and you don't take that risk, and you become, I don't know, an accountant instead, and you hate the job, and then you get fired from being an accountant, and it's way too late, you know, well, you think it's too late, and then your parents are like, well, you should have followed your dreams, you shouldn't have listened to me, you know. Hi Mutya, welcome. Means you have no clue about Indian snacks and cartoons. Maybe not. They don't hold that much importance in my life. Mom kicked out my rebel brother out of home. Yeah, you know, and I bet he's probably very happy. It's very difficult Because what happens is there's a stage that everybody goes through. It's this rebellious stage, and it's not really, it's about becoming your own person. I don't understand why that's called a rebellion. So it's a rebellion if you're not listening to everything your parents tell you to do? That's wild. Okay, my eyes. Okay. Um, Rohit, I'm really starting to question whether your mom is actually watching this. So actually, one of the things that I think I was wanted to have as a topic for Sunday satsang was maybe about this idea of freedom and love and our controlling nature. And I think codependency, I started studying codependency because I was reading this book called Codependent No More, and it was fascinating. It was absolutely fascinating. Oh no, sadly my father kicked my brother out of home when he was 16. Wow. And it most certainly didn't give him a sense of rebel happiness. It just gave him deep-rooted trauma. Jeez. The deeper you go, like with those things, it's like that, right? The further back you're pulled, the further forward you can go. My mom, there was a point in my life where this is when I was depressed and anxious. One of the reasons was because my mom kicked me out of my own home. I wasn't homeless because I was living at university accommodation, but she kicked me out of my house because my sister and I weren't doing what she wanted to do, and that was extremely difficult. But I think obviously it's not the case for everybody, but that was the best thing that happened to me, because that changed my relationship with my mother and my father. Because I am no longer, like, your parents will always refer to you as children. These are my children, right? This is my child. And not all the time, obviously sometimes, like, regardless of your age, right? Like, oh well, these are my children. Look, he's 40, he's 50, he's my child. But that you're not children. I'm not a child. I'm an adult. The relationship needs to change. It needs to go from I depend on you for survival when you're young to, okay, now we're adults now. We can be friends. Does it make sense? Because you're an adult now. Like, there needs to be a disidentification. You need to come into your own, and that's what happened. I came into my own. Yeah, no worries, Greg. I think that's why I think I wanted to speak on it, because like I said, it was the best thing that happened to me because it changed my relationship with them. It went from being absolute observant dog almost, like being very, very observant, yeah, observant. Is that the word? Just listening to them, being very codependent, okay? Oh my god, this mommy died. Oh my god, they said this. Oh my god, they said, like, my emotions were so dependent on how they felt. So it would be, mom's calling, okay, today's a good call, she's happy, cool, great. She's not calling and she's mad, and now I have to do this, and now I'm mad, and I don't feel good, and now I need a drink. Now I need to go smoke some weed. Now I need to go take some drugs. Now I need to drink some alcohol because I can't cope with this. So the moment that she stopped speaking to us, it was actually really, really peaceful. You know what it is? Like I said, your parents aren't perfect. So she was by no means perfect at that point. She was kind of going down the wrong path, a little bit. So we could see that. And then to be in her company would be damaging us. So the best thing to do was stay away from her. And it was a blessing that I was able to. Yeah, Ria and I, it was when we were both at university, so we were living out already. And then the rest of my siblings were living with her, so obviously she was speaking to them because they lived in the same house. But it's like a long story, Greg. It's like a whole thing. It's like a whole thing. But yeah, it's really really difficult, of course, you know, but it was a good thing. Suffering is the medicine, you know. Did you watch What Plants Talk About? I have not yet. Not yet. Thank you for reminding me again. Wash. Let me write that down again. What plants talk about? I will. Drugs. Yeah. Well, you know, when things get too much for you because you haven't developed your ability to manage and regulate your own emotions and your own nervous system, then yeah, that's what you do. I recently I've been hearing about how in certain countries, like someone was telling me a story about how in India someone's relative was taking drugs and how his brother came and beat the shit out of him, like hung him upside down and beat the absolute shit out of him. I thought it was wild because no one is bad, okay? It's easy to look at someone who takes drugs and judge them, right? Who's a drug addict, who's maybe taken, I don't know, what's that called? What's that drug called where they become like zombies? It's a legal high. Well, it used to be legal, but it's not legal anymore. You know, and they look like absolute kind of like, you know, it's easy to judge them and think they're freaks and weird and creepy and you want to stay away from them. But these are human beings who had issues, you know. There's a reason why they're there. And I think it's about showing compassion. Like, that is you. You know, I'm not saying you need to go and save them, but we mustn't be so quick to judge, is what I'm trying to say. You know what? Families will always be the most complicated part of our lives, but you came away stronger for it and realized you don't need dependency. Turn that trauma into learning. Oh, Greg, it turned it into one of the most fabulous lessons ever. And you choose your family. So I saw this post. Oh my god, I need to stop screenshotting them. It was amazing. It was saying that, okay, you picked your parents. I think, okay, you know, I think I'm gonna know which one it is. Let me get it up. It's like, why you chose Maria. Okay. Okay, the 5 biggest lessons your soul chose your parents. Okay, so it's from Instagram. It's called, this lady is called This Is Maria Official. If anyone wants me to write that down, I can write that down. But okay, your soul chose your parents because of these big 5 reasons. Okay, to mirror your core soul lesson. Your soul evolves through contrast. Your parents are often selected to embody the exact opposite of what you came here to master. If you came here to learn self-worth, you might choose a parent who belittles you or is emotionally unavailable. If your soul wants to develop sovereignty, you might choose a parent who is controlling or codependent. Look into your childhood to understand what challenges your soul wanted to have, and thus for you, look to your childhood to understand what challenges your soul wanted to have, and thus for you to learn. Second reason, to inherit specific karmic patterns. You didn't just inherit your eye color or facial structure, you also inherit karma. Family lineages carry unresolved emotional wounds, behavioral patterns, beliefs, and traumas. They are passed down energetically through DNA, bloodline, epigenetics, and the energetic field of the womb. Your soul may choose a particular set of parents to take on a specific karmic thread, not just for yourself, but to heal it on the behalf of the lineage. Look to your parents' karmic patterns to identify what you came here to overcome. To activate your inner child wound and power. Your inner child is the gateway to both your deepest wounds and your greatest power. By choosing parents who would fail to meet your emotional needs in a specific way, your soul ensures that your greatest initiation begins early. For example, a parent who shames your sensitivity equals, helps you awaken your gift of emotional intuition. A parent who never saw you fuels your desire to be seen by the world. Parent who overprotects you delays your sovereignty and invites rebellion. To anchor your soul into a specific timeline, your parents, where they live, what culture they're part of, what economic reality they face, anchors you into a specific earthly timeline. For example, you may need to experience poverty consciousness to shift into abundance. You may need to be born into a religious environment to later awaken from dogma. You may need to grow up in survival mode so that you can later teach liberation. Everything is a lesson so that you can become the embodiment of its teaching. Their wounds give rise to your medicine. You choose the wound you came here to heal, and you chose the people who will cut you there. If your purpose is to become If your purpose is to become a healer, a teacher, a truth teller, a guide, you needed to go through the fire. And if your parents lit that fire, they were the initiators of your pain, but also the midwives of your power. The father who rejected you equals, who is the one who forced you to build an inner foundation. The parent who tried to control you, trained you in freedom. So, hang on. There we go. So yeah, like the people that hurt you the most, I mean, sometimes it can be your parents, right? Like I just said, and you pick those parents. So the people who hurt you most in your life are the ones that love you the most. Because if we, can I share that post with you? It's on Instagram, Greg. Do you have Instagram? My Instagram is Scorpio Sage 8. If you add me on there, I can send it to you. You forgot to wear the crown. I don't need to wear the crown. It's there energetically. Oh, okay. I was just asking. I have been fascinated by drugs. Interesting. Okay. I'll tell you like 2. Okay. No, I'll tell you like 1. Okay, it wasn't like always like, oh, let me take a drug right now. Oh, maybe it was. Okay, like MDMA. Yeah, add me and then I'll send it to you. She's really cool. She has loads of different amazing posts and an amazing YouTube channel. So yeah, I would definitely recommend her. Hey, Vinod, by the way. Welcome. So yeah, like I was saying, the people who hurt you the most, they love you the most because what is the truth? Everybody is a soul, right? Everybody has a soul, right? We're all one ultimately, but let's break it down into everybody has a soul. So your parents, they're sold before they became your mom or your dad. So you had soul agreements with these people. Don't say drug word. Oh, okay. Whoops. Thank you for letting me know. Okay, we won't talk about them anymore, okay? But yeah, so you had a soul agreement. So you said to the soul of your mom or your dad, you said, look, please, I'm going to go onto earth and I need to learn about self-worth. So I need you to do your best, okay? I need you to treat me as badly as you can treat me. Make me feel like I'm nothing. Only then can I learn. Because if you do a bad job, if you don't treat me like absolute shit, then I might not get it. I might not be persuaded to go and become this sovereign, incredibly loving individual that I'm meant to be. I may not be able to teach other people because I haven't gone through this myself. I need to experience the worst. And she's like, okay, fine. I love you so much. I'll do that for you. And boom, then you get a mom who treats you like shit. And then you're like, I hate you, mom. Why? I get it, okay? But when you look at it from a soul point of view, you see differently, And then you forgive your parents. You're not mad at them anymore because they were here to teach you things. And usually, like she said, it's about karmic lineages, right? If your mom treats you, she disrespects you, she makes you have low self-worth or whatever, she never validates you or anything like that. She's mean. it's most likely, it's 100% likely that she experienced that same parenting from her parents. Because where did she get this from? Where did she learn to love like this? Where did she learn that loving looks like this? Because if she had been treated well by her parents in her childhood, she would know how to frame that for you. She would have the correct loving framework when it comes to parenting you, because she's passing it on. She got mistreated by her parents, who probably got mistreated by their parents and their parents, and that's the source of intergenerational trauma itself. But yeah, so what good is it doing you sitting there judging them? Probably not at all. If you can stay alone in a mountain when all humans are far, far away from you, and you spent 1 year there, you will feel a high spiritual power inside of you. Vinay, that's a very good point. But how would you feel when you go back to people? Can you feel very high spiritual power whilst being amongst people? That in itself is wisdom that many people need to hear. If they were able to hear and delve into it, then so much trauma could be healed. Maybe I'll make a video on it. Let me write that down. Parental trauma. Forgiveness. Forgiveness. The ability to forgive is one of the most powerful things. I watched this video and this gentleman was talking about forgiveness, and he said, so many of us don't forgive. My teacher said I'll never be anything in reception, and now I still remember that, and I don't forgive her, and I'm mad, and I hold that in my heart. Okay, that's one thing you're holding in your heart. My mom said I'm useless at this, and I'll hold that in my heart. My girlfriend said I'm no good, and I'll hold that in my heart. My this said this, and now you have a heavy, closed heart. You have a very closed energy. You're open to low frequencies, right? You attract more of that into your life because you are a magnet. You attract whatever you are. So forgiveness is super powerful. Forgiveness is not about the other person. Forgiveness doesn't make you weak, okay? Forgiveness doesn't justify what someone did to you. Forgiveness just says, I don't want to hold on to this any longer. I want to let it go. And that's something that took me a long time to learn, because it's not like I felt, I was loving the freedom that I had from when I was disidentifying with my parents and like going into my own thing. I loved the freedom I had, but I was still mad at them. I still disliked them, and I was, I felt like a victim. I was like, why do they have to be like that? Why did that have to happen to me? Why not anybody else, Give me a second, I'll be back. I was just throwing a pity party. Like, why me? Why me? And it didn't help me. But until you understand why after coming back to humans, you will hear what they are thinking, what they want to do, what diseases they have, what intention they have inside their heart, because you spent 1 year alone. I mean, that does sound really cool. That does sound really, really cool. But I think you could still do that away from people. It's also important to understand what forgiveness is. It doesn't mean you have to allow that person back into your life, but you just have to let it go. Absolutely true. Very true. It just means that you made peace in your life. You can let something go. I mean, at one point in my life, I loved doing Ho'oponopono, which is a Hawaiian technique that they used to do to, keep the love in families, which was, what you do is, because you understand that life is energetic, so you're connected to everybody energetically, because this physical is just an illusion. There is no physical reality. It's just an illusion, right? So everything is energetics. So what you do is, what this doctor did actually in Hawaii, he was working at a mental ward. Okay, forgive me if I'm getting the specifics wrong, but just, let's listen to the point of the story. psych ward or mental home, and these people were very mentally distressed. So what he decided to do was he went through their files and then he became them, right? He energetically assumed that he was them, and then he felt what they had. And then he did, I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you. He assumed that he was them and he took on what they had, and then he forgave himself. And he did that for every single person. And I believe that the ward shut down because he healed every single person like that. Let me see. Um so I can give you the specifics. Moses told us not to become a monk and accept himself. He lived alone most of the time. For 1 year, you only need to hear what is inside, what is going in space, what nature was here. Oops. Ghost is inside. Trap in your door making ghostly sounds. Can I tell you about Sita's boyfriend Ravan? I don't know anything about Ravan. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So, yeah, the Ho'oponopono doctor, I can't pronounce his name, Ihaliakala Hilen, a psychologist from Hawaii who became the most well-known modern teacher of Ho'oponopono. He learned Ho'oponopono from a Hawaiian healer. He worked with patients in the criminally insane ward. Okay, it's criminally insane. According to popular account, rather than directly working with patients, he worked on himself with the Ho'oponopono process. And during that time, the patients reportedly improved dramatically. So yeah, he would say, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. These are repeated as a way to take responsibility for one's internal reactions and heal emotion patterns rather than trying to fix other people. Everything you experience is a reflection of your own consciousness. So healing yourself creates peace in your world. Sorry, who's this? I don't know. You know those spam calls? Okay. Ho'oponopono isn't just about forgiveness with others. It's about clearing memories, beliefs, and emotional blocks within you. You know? How wild is that? That he helped them improve dramatically by just going through this whole Ho'oponopono process without ever speaking to them or contacting them directly. I think that goes to show the power. Well, not just the power, but the truth of life. How we're all connected. How everything is a reflection of your own consciousness, and how you can impact the world more than you believe so. You know. You can change your relationship with people by just doing that, by clearing things out. Because before you ever have an argument with someone, you've rehearsed that argument in your mind. I know I have. You know, like I find myself sometimes doing that when it comes to cleaning. I don't know why cleaning is such a big thing. I think cleaning is like a comic thing in my life. Okay. But yeah, you know, when I'm cleaning, I'll have thoughts going through my head like, Pri, you're the only one that cleans. No one else cleans. It's just you. It's like these victim thoughts that come up, right? And I'm having arguments with my siblings in my head before I even go and have them with them. And then because you've rehearsed it, they come to you with a particular energy and you go to them with a particular energy, and then everything that you were saying in your mind comes out. You know? Hey, Mr. Godly. Cleaning is such a wonderful meditation experience if you keep your mind on it. That's very, very true. It's such a, I think you just get in the flow, you know? And I think that's why being in the flow is so powerful, because you know what you're doing when you're in the flow? You're present. You're out of your mind. You're not really thinking much. You're just doing, right? And I realized that every time I come on live, it becomes a meditative practice for me because I'm in the flow. Whenever you're in the flow, that is meditation, because meditation is presence. It's being aware of the present moment, right? So that's what I do when I'm on live, because things just flow out of me. I mean, I don't plan these things, and I sit here for 2 hours talking about God knows what, you know. It just flows out of me, and I was like, whoa, I had this realization that prayer, you're meditating. That's your meditation when you're doing this. And that's the thing, you know, I think work is only something where you're being forced to do it. It's not flowing out of you. Whereas when you really enjoy something, it doesn't feel like work. It doesn't feel painful or difficult or like you want to run away from it, because it just it flows out of you, you know? In concert, singers hypnotize people by flow. Exactly. Exactly. They encapture you, you know? I mean, I think, you know, I sometimes people say on here that they don't feel like leaving, like they just want to stay and just listen and listen and listen. Well, I guess that's also an example of that. If this was really rigid and this was really structured and I was really trying, because I'm not trying, I'm just being, you know? If I was really trying, that's when the issues come. When you try to make something, when you're trying to do something. I was watching this TikTok and this lady was talking about how when you get to a certain level, you don't need to meditate anymore. Even what Robert Adams said, you don't need to do anything. You just need to be. And the life force will just flow through you. And I was fascinated by this lady. What? I feel weird if I ever meditate. I feel like I have to meditate. I have to do this. I have to do that. You haven't been meditating so much, Brit. You haven't been doing this. How, blah, blah, you know? But it's about being present in all moments, even with the thought that, oh, I haven't meditated, because that in itself is a thought. It's just an appearance. And if I can be aware of that, then I'm being aware, which is what meditation is about, you know? And we've all been guilty of planning arguments or going back to all the previous arguments and thinking what we would have said different. Exactly. However, allowing those thoughts to pass is part of mastering the mind. Exactly. Understanding that they are just appearances in consciousness. This is, you know, Greg, this is something that Sam Harris really helped me realize. The way he frames things, I mean, you already know by, you know, his meditations, he'll be like, okay, what emotions are you feeling? What thoughts are you thinking? Is your mind racing? Do you feel like there's a goal to this meditation? Just know that that thought is an appearance. It's an appearance. It's an appearance in consciousness. It isn't consciousness. Consciousness is who I am. If that's not consciousness, then it's not who I am. It's just a thought. And lest I hold on to that tightly, I can let it go, you know? And that makes life really easy, because our thoughts can be torturous. I remember when I wasn't feeling so well in life, you know, when that whole period of my life where it was really difficult, I would constantly think, how can I escape myself? I wish I could just get away from myself, because my mind had become such a dark place that it was really difficult. And now I don't have to. So, you know, it's like, make your mind a place, like your being a place where you want to be, that's welcoming, that's loving, that's cherishing. Then of course you want to be your best friend. And hi King, what's up? What's good? And we can do that by disidentifying with the mind. But there's obviously different ways of speaking of the mind. There's a point that I wanted to make in the satsang that, I mean, I had like notes, but obviously I didn't follow them. They kind of, it just went very naturally with the flow, which is wonderful, you know. One of the things I wanted to talk about was Anandamayi Ma. She's a very enlightened being. And, you know, someone said to her, because millions, okay, thousands and hundreds of people would be flocking at her, you know, flocking at her, wanting her attention, wanting to be touched by her, wanting her darshan. And she would treat everybody with the same amount of respect. every single time. And someone said, do you not get annoyed? Like, you have so many people coming at you all the time. Do you not get annoyed? And she said, no, I see them all as a part of me. They're like a like my body part. So I care about every single one of them. And I just thought that was so beautiful. She doesn't know these people. They're not family. They don't mean anything to her. But they became a part of her. That's what love is. It's wholeness. It's not seeing the difference between you and the other. May I ask, Priya, I know you... Oh, wait, okay, you mind me asking if psychedelics help with spirituality? They help you see a different perspective. But they're not... It's not a, like you have to take them, you know? May I ask, Priya, I know you speak about enlightenment and so on. There's a guy on YouTube named Seb Jones. He's an Englishman and he pretends to be enlightened. That's so funny. Oh my god, that's so funny. Let me write that down. Oh no, am I gonna watch him just to laugh at him? I'm kidding. I like to be amused. Okay, I will check that out. He refers to himself as a sage. Oh god, you know, I am not enlightened. Actually, you know what? A sage is a wise woman. Is he a wise woman? Okay. This was a subject we were discussing in the Gita group last night about mastering those thoughts and how it is the way to the ultimate happiness. And I want to stress that the term ultimate happiness was used. I know you have thoughts on the word happy. Yeah, I mean, yeah. You know, I get what it's referring to. It's that joy that already exists within us. It's Anand, right? Anand and pure bliss. I've heard stories about DMT trip and it sounded kind of like Vigar Samadhi. I don't know what Vigar Samadhi is. You know, these things are tools, just like religion. Religion is like a tool. It's like a plane. Like, that's the example I used. These things are like a plane. Okay, DMT, psychedelics, they're a plane that get you to your destination, which is okay. I mean, maybe not psychedelics. Maybe they do. I don't know. They're just tools, you know, and you don't need the tool, but you can use the tool. His YouTube channel is Seb Jones, long blonde, pretty funny. Okay, really, you're different on what? Okay, in one video he pretends to go into a what? He pretends to go into a trance. Like, that's hilarious. Can I just watch him now? I don't want to wait. Seb Jones. Entertainment. Love that. Okay. How to finally unlock effortless self-discipline. Seb Jones. Okay. I'm excited to watch him. So what do you think of his teacher then? Because he's got his teacher there as well, right? Why you should stop watching YouTube. Interesting. I mean, let's see. Let's see. But who am I to say this? It is what it is, you know? Sage is kind of... Oh, is it? Now Sage is kind of like a yogi or saying... Is it? Let me see. Oh, maybe it is. Seriously, my dream... At some point in one of the satsangs, I'd love to discuss the term enlightenment and how it is understood by other people. Okay. That'd be pretty cool. Yeah, you might be able to tell he's acting. He's literally refers to himself as a sage. You know, Greg, let me write that down. Enlightenment. I'll let you know what my decision is. Let's see what wants to come out for the satsang this Sunday. Yeah, you might be able to tell he literally refers to himself. Okay. Vikar Samadhi is when you don't know the difference between you and everything else anymore. You become everything and Nirvikar Samadhi is when there is no you and nothing anymore. Right, okay. See, you can get that through mushrooms as well. I felt that before. Yeah, but you can do that through meditation as well, you know? Or like many different things. Anywhere where you're completely present. All right, Rohit. I thought your mom was watching. Is she reading this? This is why I question whether his mom was actually here or not. Because why would she watch my channel if she can't understand English? Oh, maybe she would actually. We do have a few people who do, but I don't know. I don't know. You know, um, you've done nothing apart from cigarette. That was 9 years ago. Yes, you don't have to. Honestly, you don't have to. You don't need anything. Everything is already within you. It's not about. It's more about removing the things that stand in the way of who you already are. Robert Adams is a brilliant person who expresses this. You can listen to his songs online on YouTube. Robert Adams. He speaks about how you don't need to do anything. He says you don't even need to meditate. You just need to be, because meditation is always happening. You don't need to sit and make time to meditate. It already is, you know? Is smoking cigarettes a good solution to evil thoughts? Do you smoke cigarettes? Do you have evil thoughts? Or are you considering smoking cigarettes to diminish evil thoughts? I found the title. Yes, many. Zero evil. That's hilarious. I don't think they're connected. I think you think they're connected, but I don't think they are. You know? It's a thing that keeps you addicted. Okay, I mean, you know, it's your life. You try. You free to do whatever you do, you know? Want to do. Smoking cigarette isn't evil. I guess I'm just a good person then, and I can finally quit smoking. Yeah, you can. You know what it is? Shall I tell you what happens with smoking? So, okay. Smoking works like this. You don't smoke, right? So you're cool. So you could. The thing is, why we do any of these things? First of all, smoking is breathing in and out, okay? And it's the breathing, this process, that you actually want. Second of all, you don't know how to handle your emotions. You don't know how to sit with them. That's why you need to reach for a cigarette. People who are anxious reach for a cigarette, and it's either they reach for a cigarette, they reach for food, they reach for drugs, they reach for a glass of wine. They're reaching. They're not handling things. They're not sitting with themselves. They need to do something to escape themselves, okay? It's escapist behavior. And then what happens is when you smoke, you start smoking, so the cigarette becomes a stress relief. But the cigarette is the stress. Because when you don't have the cigarette, you're stressed. Then you want to smoke to relieve the stress. And then you're in a state of stress again because you don't have a cigarette in your mouth. Then you want a cigarette, and then you have relief from the stress of not having a cigarette. So there is no real pleasure. There is only a relief from the stress of not smoking. Does that make sense? There's no real pleasure. Only God is your and our best friend. Ashe, brother. It's true, you know. God is all there is. So of course, you know. You will have to let me know what you think of Seb Jones' videos down the line. I'm inclined to believe you will find them quite amusing. I'm interested. I'll watch them, you know. I will try to get around to it and watch them. Let's see. Oh my god, this is so bright. This is affecting my eyes. Should be interesting. You know, the thing is, I don't know, I guess I'm just out of words to say. Sometimes silence is just the cure to everything. Oh, says the person who speaks for a living. That's funny. It is funny. But if you guys don't already know, I hold satsangs on Sundays. You spoke about people smoking. Well, would you say people who are addicted to physical exercise as a form of escapism in the past? I was a bit of a fitness freak, dare I say, to avoid, yeah, certain emotions, maybe, yeah. It's true. Anything done in extreme is, you know, why are you doing it in extreme? Why do you need anything outside of yourself? You really don't. You can handle things yourself. When you reach for something out of the normal kind of need for it, like food or water, you don't need to drink millions of liters of water. You can just drink as much as your body requires you to drink, or work out as much as your body needs, not more than that. And if any, like I said, if anything is an extreme, you need to explore it. And it's good that you have this awareness. Are you aware of Om Swami? Yes. You know, I believe that I was reading one of his books and I didn't know who he was, but it was a pretty good one. I think it was about food. 2 years ago in India. Very interesting. But I don't really watch him much. I only read a little bit of the book. I kind of stopped reading. I feel like my eyes look tired. Oh, yeah. Like I was saying, I hold satsangs on Sunday. So we discuss different things in there, and it helps people, you know, it makes it very conversational rather than like everybody typing. So if you're someone who's looking for more of a sacred container where we explore one theme in depth rather than many different themes, I know lives can be very distracting at times with loads of different people. You never know who you're going to get, you know? So yeah, if that's your thing, if you like to be able to have conversations with me and other people who like to have similar conversations and create a new collective consciousness, you know, it's a mastermind of people who think on a similar level, and we can learn from each other. So if you'd like to join me on Sundays, then the link is in my bio. But other than that, that is all for today. My body is asking for me to thanks for that, Greg. Yeah, Greg's been to 2 of them. 2 out of 2. He was a business administrator. He used to be a millionaire, abandoned everything and took some years, moved to Himalayas. Okay. Oh well, I think I was that him? But yeah, I will bid you farewell. Maybe see you tomorrow. Bye. I'll let everybody kind of say bye and then I'll go. Thank you, Priya, especially for sharing your own traumas and how you grew from them. You're welcome. Thank you for sharing. I love listening. I subscribe, turn on notifications. Oh, I appreciate you. Like I said, I hold a satsang, which is a more private kind of sacred container where, like Greg said, you know, we explore things for in depth. So if that interests you, I have a membership, and I have you know, you can come to one and just see how you like it. But everybody is welcome. But thank you, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your attention. It is your most valuable currency. Thanks for the stream and your insights. My absolute pleasure. My absolute pleasure. Adieu. I think that means bye-bye. Okay, bye. Ah!